The Accidental Entrepreneur is brought to you with the help of our sponsor, AWeber, the world's leading small business email marketing and automation service provider. Since 1998, AWeber has helped more than 1 million small businesses and entrepreneurs through its suite of web-based email marketing, automation tools, and education. AWeber, the best option when it comes to marketing your business. The podcast is also brought to you by the Alternative Board. Since 1989, the Alternative Board, or TAB, has been one of the leading peer advisory and business coaching organizations for independent business owners and CEOs across the world. By facilitating peer advisory boards, private one-on-one coaching, and strategic planning services, TAB helps business owners improve their businesses in ways that change their lives. And be sure to connect with our affiliate sponsor, GSM Growth Agency. They're boosting e-commerce businesses to 6 and 7 figures in revenue and cover everything from ads and social media influencers to making your website better. GSM Growth Agency focuses on taking businesses from startup success to bigger success, going above and beyond to make sure growth sticks around. They're all about cool ideas, lasting partnerships, and making your mark in the e-commerce world. And be sure to support the podcast by ordering some logo merchandise from our online store. Listen to all of our sponsors' commercials later in this episode and follow their links in the show notes to learn more about their products and services. Okay, welcome back to another episode of The Accidental Entrepreneur. I'm Mitch Beinhacker, your host. I got a great guest today. Daniel is high energy. We're going to talk about marketing, all the great stuff that people think they're good at and they're not. And even me, yes, I'm not good at this stuff, but I try. And so if you're listening on your favorite directory, leave us a 5-star review whenever you can. If you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like us, so we can keep connecting with guys like Daniel. So let's get on with today's show.
The information provided in these episodes is for entertainment purposes only. It is not a guarantee of success or to be construed as advice of any kind. You should always seek advice from local licensed professionals before making any decisions.
The dictionary defines an entrepreneur as a person who organizes and manages any enterprise, especially a business, usually with considerable initiative and risk. People often start a business without much choice, perhaps due to a job loss or just being dissatisfied at work, and they come up with an idea they just know can be successful. They become entrepreneurs by accident. That is to say, their success or failure happens by accident, not with intention. My name is Mitch Beinhacker. I'm a corporate attorney and a business advisor. You're listening to The Accidental Entrepreneur, my podcast about how to achieve success on purpose, not by accident. Join me along with our monthly guests, where we share our knowledge and help you get a hold of your business. And now on to today's episode. Are you on?
I am on.
You are on. Okay, cool.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. So Dan, thanks so much for coming on the show. Can't remember for the life of me how we connected, but we definitely did. And you sent me your box, which people have to see. It's like this marketing piece, which you want to make a splash with things. This is the box, right? So it's probably backwards, but it doesn't matter. So here's the box, and then it's got all kinds of stuff in it. And it's got cool. So we're going to talk about this stuff. So, I got to fix my camera there. And I want people to understand who are listening that Dan works with attorneys, other professionals. It's not just like somebody who has a product to market. You can market your services. This is about standing out in the crowd. You know, one of the reasons why I do the podcast, besides signing a deal with Spotify, if they're listening, is to, it's content marketing for me. Like, I have no delusions about that. So it's content marketing for me to have good conversations with guys like Dan. So people hear me and hear our guests and learn and say, hey, you know what? I need help with law, business law. And I know this guy and that guy, and I met Dan, and Dan said, talk to Mitch. And then he calls me. Right. And recently I hired a VA. So now she's helping with blog articles and we're doing postings, whatever. But we're going to talk to the expert today about, how you make a big splash, how you're memorable, and how all these, you can get people to, be influenced in a very professional, very good way. And it varies by industry. So Dan, why don't we start with a little bit of your background in business and so forth. Then we can work up to maybe the second half of the show, all the ideas that influence stuff.
Hey, Mitch Beinhacker, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Such a pleasure here to be on The Accidental Entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I have a weird way that I was an accidental entrepreneur, and I hear a lot of similar stories. So growing up, we just didn't have money, and
Right.
so I just naturally was like, I got to think of all these ways
You're a
to make
hustler.
money.
Yeah.
And then by the time I was old enough to realize that I was an entrepreneur, I was like, oh, I guess I'm an entrepreneur.
Then you were just trying to survive, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
But just always been like thinking outside of the box, and yeah, I would say that the quick story, because we don't
Yeah.
want to get
Some
too
of the
much into the
earlier,
weeds of the
what are
story,
some of the
is
earlier businesses that you did? Little
yeah.
things.
So at some point in the like around 2007, I started to get really big into internet marketing,
Mhm.
and this was before everybody and their dog knew that like the internet was this magic money making machine,
Right.
which
Where you can,
it's still
yes.
being sold in 2024. The difference in 2024 versus 2007 was there was a lot less competition,
Yeah,
right?
a lot less.
But at the same time, um, I was running into competition, and I was also running into copycat competitors.
Mhm.
And so I at one point, I started creating these super profitable websites. And one of the websites that I created,
And this is Dan. This is for you personally, right? To sell products. This wasn't for someone else.
yeah, this is for me.
Right.
One of my most profitable websites. I was an affiliate marketer for car insurance, and
Okay.
I literally invented. If you know what an advertorial is,
Uh-huh.
I invented the car insurance advertorial. And what that means is I had this article, and I was the first person ever to market car insurance using an article that told a story that had a call to action at the end. Advertorials before the internet were put mainly in newspapers and magazines.
Right.
Advertorials online, you have a website and it's an article, and the article just sells.
Almost like a blog.
Yeah, like a blog. And I was the first person to ever do this. I have confirmed it multiple times. And
Okay.
it sold like gangbusters.
So
I
you were
was the
almost
first.
like a broker, but really it's affiliate. You push their product, people buy it through you, you get a piece.
Yes, 100%. So I got to the point, and I had a couple kids at the time,
Okay.
and went from rags to riches with this website.
Right.
Like literally, like within 6 months, I started having multiple days where I was making $1,000 profit, which
Right.
in 2007 was
A
like
lot of
a
money.
bajillion dollars, right?
So it was working, basically, right? You're finding people.
It was working really well.
Right.
And then eventually somebody just completely ripped off the website, but I didn't feel the effect right away. But they literally they swiped word for word everything that I had written, and they used like all the same images, and they just like made a clone of my website.
Right.
And then one copycat turned into 3 to turn into 5, and eventually turned into over 100 people had copied my website in some way, shape, or form.
Well,
and this
clearly
put
you're
me
doing
down
something right when 100 people want to copy what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this put me on this path of, holy smokes, when you do things different, if you don't do it different enough, you start to get copied. So is there a code to be cracked where we can do marketing and sales and build a business in a way where we can become uncopyable? And that's where I joined forces with my business partner down in Brazil, Pedro Superti, and we created this movement all around our concept called the X Factor effect. And we discovered multiple ways to help people become uncopyable in their marketing, their sales, and in their business. And that's what we grew over the past 12 years, and more than 20,000 students and clients
so we're going to
later.
spend a lot of time talking about all this stuff, but what are some of the basic things that make you uncopyable? I mean, the concept, is it like, trademarks and copyrights, or?
Trademarks and copyrights can help. And, from a legal perspective,
right.
Yeah,
but if some guy
of course.
Some guy from Japan swipes your, what are you going to do?
Yeah. But some guy from Japan swipes your website. You can't do much. So trademarks, copyrights, patents, sure. Like we can go down that route, and we don't discourage it. Right. But when it comes to truly becoming uncopyable, so a few of them, we always have to start with avatar. We always, figure out the perfect avatar to work with. But outside of avatar, which is like the toss up, it's like, oh, you
Right,
always
talking like ideal client is what
yeah.
avatar is, right?
You
Yeah,
always have
ideal.
to start with avatar. But
Yeah.
outside of that, I mean, brand. So also, we talk a lot about the fact that we're in the age of experience. So the more you can add a unique experience to the sale of your products or services, kind of like what I did with the box that you received.
Yeah.
The more it differentiates yourself, because we are in the age of experience and people love a great experience.
Right,
So
it
that's
makes it a
another
sticky
way.
relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are a few of the ways, but there's a lot more. Like, for example, one of our pillars, we call it following the celebrity code. And you, Mitch, have done that. You, with the Accidental Entrepreneur podcast, you've become a mini celebrity
Tiny.
expert.
Tiny.
Well, I'm there too. Like I'm a baby.
You're
baby
more,
celebrity.
You're like up here. I'm like down here.
No. We're both there. We're baby celebrities.
Yeah,
Like,
my own mind. Yeah. People know me in the community, but not much farther than that.
Yeah. It's being known to the people that matter, being known to your customers, where I have gotten to the point where I've been spotted. And
there you go.
It's like, oh my, like, wow, like, okay. I guess my marketing is working if I've been spotted.
Yeah, well, somebody tells me about your stuff, I'll be like, yeah, he's the box guy. Didn't you get that box with all the stuff in it? Like, yeah, I mean, it definitely makes an impression. So what do you think the disconnect is? Like, what are people missing when? I mean, it sounds right. Yeah, ideas that influence. You want to stand out. You want to be unique. You want to be uncopyable. All that stuff sounds so intuitive. Nobody's doing it. So, there's a handful of people that really impact marketing. And look, I'm putting big companies aside, right? Companies that, State Farm has these funny commercials with all these rich, these celebrities on it. It's great. Fine. We remember it. It's an experience. We want to be a part of what they're doing. That's not the actual marketplace we're talking about, right? We're talking small business owners. How do you stand out?
Yeah.
I'm a lawyer, right? There's a shitload of lawyers in my community. I have no idea why one does business with me versus another. I really don't know. Because, you know why? Because they meet you, you know me, and you say, Mitch is the guy, you go to him. So then they do. But they could open a phone book and, get a ton. So
the disconnect. So this is the disconnect question.
Yeah.
The disconnect as small business owners. It's the fact that lots of times if I do one thing that's different, like for example, with my website, with my copy, I was the first to create this advertorial for the car insurance.
It's more of
if it's one thing, like if it's one offer, let's say you have an amazing guarantee. If you shout from the rooftops your amazing guarantee, well, it's not that hard for your competition to be like, oh,
we'll do the same thing.
Yeah, we'll offer the same guarantee.
Yeah.
So the disconnect happens where people, they start to get frustrated because when their competition sees that they're doing something that works, sometimes, let's just be honest, like 95% of the time they're getting copied. So that's where the disconnect happens, where it's like, why do I even bother?
Right.
And then the tipping point happens when you stack the differences that make a difference. So for example,
makes sense.
Mitch is a unicorn.
Right.
Mitch Beinhacker with his amazing last name.
Yeah, make me a unicorn.
There's only one Mitch Beinhacker.
Right.
Unicorn. Now, and then there's only one lawyer that, practicing business and estate law. And then he has a podcast, but he doesn't even let many lawyers on his podcast because the podcast is specifically to entrepreneurs, which just so happens to be part of his strategic marketing plan because that's part of who he's trying to attract.
Right.
And then, so the differences that you have, Mitch, when you stack them in a way that makes you a unicorn, that leads you down the path of market leadership. And people don't realize that you get to a tipping point where once you get over that hump, then you become recognized as a market leader and sometimes a category king or category queen because you've stacked so many unique differences that make a difference that you get to the point where you are uncopyable in many ways. Not in all ways, but in many ways.
Right. And you become like an authority.
Yes. Well, and much more than that, because like becoming the authority. So out of the 9 pillars we teach with the X Factor effect, that's one of the 9 pillars. So if you're the authority and you have the unique brand, Bind Hacker.
I guess, yeah. There are other bind hackers that are related.
There's very few bind hackers.
Yeah.
Very few bind hackers. If you start to build a tribe, which is another one of the pillars that we teach, a community.
Right. Champions for your cause type of thing. Is that what you mean?
Yes. We did that in a massive way. Like, so our biggest event to date was for 7,400 people. You don't pull together 7,400 people to one of your events unless you've started to build a community.
Right. Unless you've started to build a tribe. 7,500 people show up at your event. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Now that was right before COVID hit. So that was our peak. And then COVID hit and that put a damper on things.
Yeah.
But still, like, that's community. And so there's differences that we can do. And then the tribe I build. So for example, I'm not going to be able to ever duplicate Harley Davidson's tribe. I just can't do it.
Right. Because they have this moat around their product and brand and following, but it took 100 years for that to develop.
That, and like, it's just, like
an easy rider, I guess.
Uncopyable. Like you cannot be Harley unless you are Harley.
Right.
That's just
anything you try to be will be second to that. Right. Of course.
Yeah. Or it would be laughable because it would be like, oh, look at these guys. Look at buying hacker motorcycles, trying to be like Harley. That's what people would say.
Right.
Buying hacker motorcycles, motors, or whatever it is. They're trying to copy Harley. That's the point that you want to get to, where when everybody recognizes that, okay, they're a unicorn, they can't be touched, they're a market leader, and if anybody tried to, then it would be laughable. It would be like, oh, okay, they're just copying the leader, and
you're getting less value or whatever you want as a consumer from the faux Harley,
from the copycat. Yeah,
right. Exactly. I'm just poor, so I can't afford a real one. So exactly. So Dan, what would you say? This is a personal question for you, right? You're a very driven guy. You're high energy. The whole thing. What would you say? Made you realize? Kind of brought all these principles together. I mean, it's not like you spent, I don't know, 20 years in corporate marketing working, or maybe you did and you didn't tell me, but you know what I mean? Like, and that might not have helped you, right? Spending 20 years in corporate marketing might have just screwed you up. So you're like everyone else and you don't even see this stuff. So what do you think? Like, why you, and what's the epiphany? Where did all this stuff come from?
Well, I have the unicorn story with my business partner down in Brazil. So Brazil, so people in the United States market, our clients that we deal with in the United States and the businesses that we deal with, they will copy us. They will copy you. In Brazil, it's about 3 times as worse. Okay. The amount of copycat competitors that go on in Brazil. So we found this blue ocean, Pedro and I, down in Brazil, where we just had so many people coming to us saying, hey, you're talking about doing things differently. You're teaching how to do the marketing, the sales, build the business differently. And they would lay it out to us. They would spell it out. They would say, I opened a salon. And believe it or not, right next door, they opened up right next, not a mile down the road.
Right.
Yeah. Not a mile down the road, right next door. They saw I was making money.
So they said, let's go where the money is.
And so they opened up one right next door. And then they lowered their prices to compete with. And then, so everything that we deal with, like if I'm copying, buying hacker law, like I'm gonna, for the most part, I'm going to try to do it a little bit more discreetly. Right.
Well,
in Brazil,
it's a law.
There's no shame. There's the lack of shame. Just people would just copy. And so we had to, for the sake of our clients, go down multiple routes of, okay, here's how you differentiate the product. Here's how you differentiate the service. Here's how you differentiate the experience. This is how that translates over to your marketing. This is how you differentiate your marketing. This is how you differentiate your sales process. And we started to go down all these different routes. And at the end of it all, we had this beautiful way for people to position themselves as market leaders in their area.
Now, how did you meet your partner in Brazil? It was like, how'd you guys connect?
Yeah, so he was big in the digital marketing space. It was around 2010 that we first had our first conversations, and then we started working together right around 2011, 2012. And then
cross paths. You just cross paths in the digital marketing space. It wasn't like, your best friend's cousin down in Brazil.
Kind of. I was a Christian missionary in Brazil for a couple years, and one of the people that I knew there worked with Pedro, and then he saw, like, randomly one day. This is kind of a funny side story.
Yeah.
I was one of the first people to post a lot of videos on YouTube. Now, at the time, going back to 2007 versus 2024, at the time, quantity over quality actually worked when it came to YouTube, meaning
it was much smaller then.
Yeah, you could do keyword research and you could post 50 low quality videos and you could get a lot of traffic.
Right, because there wasn't a lot to look at.
Yeah. And so I noticed when I did
Christian missionary videos?
No, that's not the type of ones that I posted. So because I was starting to get into digital marketing, I noticed, I did some keyword research, and I noticed that people were searching for como ganhar dinheiro com o PayPal, which means how to make money with PayPal.
Oh, okay.
But nobody had created a video called that.
Really?
No, nobody did.
So somebody's searching. That's so funny. So somebody, and you can just look it up. You can see what people are searching, kind of, right?
Yeah. So people were searching for it, but there was no video on YouTube at the time.
Change the name of your video.
Yeah. I literally just went out in my front yard and I shot a video on, well, I said in Portuguese. So people are looking for how to make money on PayPal. Well, it's not really that the money comes from PayPal. And then I started explaining how the internet works and how to make money on the internet. And then the video, I got like 100,000 views or whatever.
Well, but you named the video based on what you knew they were looking for, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So you got to know some things. That's,
And so my buddy that I had known from when I was a Christian missionary, he saw that I had posted that, and he was like, "Whoa, let me connect you with Pedro." And then that's how the conversation got started. And then it opened up this massive blue ocean because just like the fact that I was able to post that video, that nobody had done the keyword research, nobody had posted a video like that.
Right.
There was all these things about business and marketing and differentiating yourself that nobody was talking about in Brazil. There were no books written about it. Nobody was talking about it. Nobody knew what to do, but they have this massive problem that we deal with in the United States with price wars and competition, but nobody was teaching how to overcome that.
The way to do it was to open your store next to the other guy.
That was the way to come to your
store.
Just for the record, that's the way to make everybody poor, right?
Right, exactly. That's really funny. It's almost like you made me think of something. I don't remember. If it pops in my head, I'll tell you. So we were in Italy end of March, early April. My daughter was on a semester abroad, so we went over to visit her with like 10 days. So we're walking through the square in Florence. Now, you could imagine, right, in Italy there are gelato and espresso places everywhere, and I mean everywhere. Like there could be 4 in a row, just like you said. Okay?
That's why we have Starbucks, right?
We're walking across this thing. I see this line coming out of this gelato store that is like down the block, okay? And next to the store was another gelato store, nobody in the store. So I said to my son, do you think that they're missing out on something? There's something that they're doing wrong, that these people are willing to wait on a line probably for 20 or 30 minutes to get something from this store when they can just walk into the one next door. That stood out in my mind. So there's something going on there that these people are doing that everybody's like, no. You got to go to that one. I never got the answer. I don't know like what made that place more unique than the one.
Now we got to go back to Italy and find out so we can do a case study.
I know it's bothering that kind of me. Okay. So, but I know what I was going to say. You know who else did this? Do you remember Commerce Bank? They got bought by TD. So
I remember the names, but
so the guy who started TD Bank was a Burger King executive. He had like a lot of Burger Kings, right? And that's what he did. He went to the place in town where all the banks were, and he opened another bank. People were like, why are you opening a bank? He said, well, that's where the people come. Better hours. They were open on Sundays, whatever, and Saturdays would kill the industry. Open late, whatever. And he stole all the deposits. Like that's what they did. That was their MO. And then they sold the TD for, I don't know, a couple of $1 billion. Yeah. And everybody questioned, what the hell are you doing? Why are you opening where the other banks? You got to go where there's no banks. No,
you got to go where the banks are and differentiate. There you go.
Used it right. Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
And,
I love it.
And it's funny because sometimes that difference that makes a difference in your business, the thing that's differentiating yourself that you're using in your marketing and everything, sometimes you get lucky.
Right.
The competition doesn't copy it.
Right. Sometimes they don't catch on.
For example,
like the gelato store that's right next to the other gelato store with no business. They're obviously missing something.
They were doing something. They were doing now we have to know, what were they doing?
I know.
What were they doing? So in the auto repair industry, my gosh, this is exactly the same example as your bank story.
Yeah.
The way to double sales for an auto repair shop with the same amount of clients is to have your auto repair shop open 24/7 and charge the people that come in during the night hours
more.
Give them an upcharge.
Right.
Because how often do you call because you have engine problems that you want fixed now?
Right.
And they say, well, we can get you in next Thursday.
Right. Or you have work the next day. So you're like, I can't go during the day. I got to go at night. Yeah.
But you're like, I want it done now. Now, if they say, oh, you want it done now, then it's 50% more per hour that they're working on it, but they can work on it tonight between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. They're going to diagnose it. They're going to figure out what it is. And you're going to find a customer base that's willing to pay that 50% more all day, every day. This works especially well if it is work related, like you said. Yeah. So for example, trucks that have deliveries the next day, but something breaks down.
Right.
They don't need that truck fixed next week. They need it fixed now.
Or they lose money the next day.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So that is the easiest way. And so when a bank does the same thing, there are people that want to do banking at 11 p.m. Okay. Well, let's open at 11 p.m. and let's be open at 11 p.m. Yeah. It's a way to differentiate. And if the other banks don't catch on, then you're just going to snag away those customers. So sometimes your difference that makes a difference is simply doing what others aren't willing to do.
Right. It's true. It's never that they can't do it. Usually.
Yeah.
Usually they're unwilling to do it. Now that's an interesting discussion because you always go to these networking group seminars. People are like, oh, you got to stand out in the crowd, differentiate yourself. And people's differentiation. Well, what makes you different? Well, I'm nice to people. I mean, they have no answer.
Yeah.
I'm nice to people.
I do it better.
Right. Yeah. We do it better. We're more. So I think people who are listening got to really think, right? Like, how do you differentiate yourself? Let's use me as an example, right? Because as a professional, I have some challenges, right? We were talking about this off the mic. I have ethical rules and certain things I can't do. Like I can't offer anybody a money back guarantee. I'm not allowed to do that. I can't tell them, listen, come and I'll do this for you. If you're not satisfied, I'll give you money back. That is unethical because it induces somebody to take on your work based on money. So I can't do that. So what is a professional like me? Let's assume doctors fall into that category. They have all kinds of laws they're subject to and other professionals. What do they do to differentiate yourself? I guess the podcast is a good example, right? That differentiates.
The podcast is a great example. I mean, there's so many things. I mean, what's the thing that the lawyers don't want to do, right? Sometimes it's that they don't even want to meet their clients face to face. They want to do it all over the phone, right? And so like, hey, if our introductory meaning, if I'm trying to land a whale, I'm trying to land the whale,
right?
Let's say that whale, and for my law firm, let's say that they're going to be worth about, I don't know, $500,000 a year to me
in fees
personally.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So to me, I don't know about for you, but Mr. Beinhacker, but for me, that's a whale. For you, maybe that's a baby fish.
Double my income at least.
There you go. You go. So it's a whale. It's a whale for both of us. All right. So $500,000. Sweet. What am I not willing to do? Well, some people aren't willing to, you know, for lack of a better term, wine and dine, right?
Yeah.
But
Or
it's a
go somewhere
whale.
at 7 a.m. in the morning where he gets coffee
Yeah.
to meet him. You get
To
your
meet
ass
it.
up.
Exactly. Or to take them to that steakhouse at
But
night.
see, we can't do that stuff.
You can't take
Well,
somebody
you
to
can
a
take a client to dinner if they're already a client, but you got to be real careful about, I think the threshold's ridiculous. It's like $25 if you
Oh,
get
really?
and that would include dinner in New Jersey. I may vary by
in New Jersey.
state.
But so in New York and Pennsylvania,
No, I'm
might
sure
be a
New
little
York
bit.
is as strict. I don't know about Pennsylvania, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't, because it's an inducement. It's like, it's like you want me, the title company wants me to do business with them. So they send me a $250 gift certificate to the steakhouse, which I have gotten, by the way, which is totally illegal.
There you go.
Didn't use them. I want to say that on the mic. Didn't use them, but definitely got them. So yeah, so that's a problem. Like the whining and the dining. Look, I think people have to learn their industry, right? What can they do? And what can't they do? They come up with great
But
ideas.
the second they give you $1, you can give them that experience.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so that's the threshold. So for that $1, what am I going to offer experiential wise?
Right.
Hey, to get started with me, just so you know, Mr. Whale, it's $1.
Right.
Okay? Why is it $1? Because for the first week, I want to get to know you on a personal basis. First we're gonna go golfing, then we're gonna go out to eat.
Right.
Now they gave you the $1, so they have hired you.
Right.
So that's where I stretch the boundaries. When I'm trying to think outside of the box, and I do run into this with lawyers all the time.
Yeah, you can't.
And it's like, okay, what does the actual law say?
Right.
And a lot of the times there's a big misunderstanding because it's just other people talking about what that law says.
Yeah.
And so let's actually figure out what it says and then go from there. But if that threshold is $1, hey, give me $1 and I'm going to promise you the moon.
I'm not telling you it's $1. I'm not sure, but for our purposes, we'll say that it is.
Right. Well, I was watching the Better Call Saul series, and
that's the rules you need to follow. If you want to not get in trouble, Better Call Saul.
That's my bar, and
right.
Better Call Saul. So it's that. Oh, give me $1. Give me $1. Okay,
right.
Now I'm your lawyer.
Right. Exactly. Everything's protected now. You can tell me whatever you want. It's true. It's true. All right. So why don't we do this? Let's take a quick commercial break, and I'll honor the people that pay me a little bit of money, and then maybe we could talk about your the program and what it does for people and why you put it together. And because I told you I got sick last week, my wife was sick. I'm just starting to get through this stuff, but it's really cool stuff. So let's take a break and then we'll come back. Here's a word from our sponsors. Looking to market and grow your business? Or perhaps you're just getting started and want to hit the ground running? AWeber is the best choice for online email marketing and automation of your business. From maintaining a subscriber list to drip campaigns and landing pages, AWeber gives you tools and integrations that make marketing easy and fun. As our partner and sponsor, we use all their tools to promote the podcast and market our law firm. AWeber, the best alternative for online marketing. For over 30 years, the Alternative Board, or TAB, has built a thriving community of forward-thinking CEOs and business owners who want to radically improve their companies. Through unique combinations of one-on-one business coaching, participation in monthly TAB board meetings with other non-competing owners, a suite of strategic tools, and customized strategic planning workshops, TAB membership can deliver greater strength to your business and a better work-life balance for you and your family. All packaged in a streamlined and affordable service that the people at TAB invite you to try risk-free. Are you struggling with managing advertising due to a lack of time or expertise? Perhaps you're facing challenges in scaling ads for your store. Are you feeling lost when strategies have no success? GSM Growth Agency is your reliable partner in overcoming these business challenges. Feel the impact of collaborating with a team dedicated not only to short-term goals, but also to building long-term partnerships and achieving sustained success. Embark on an exciting journey to redefine the possibilities of e-commerce and create a legacy of unparalleled excellence. Take decisive action now. Follow their link in the show notes to receive a complimentary audit of your Shopify store conducted by a GSM expert. Propel your e-commerce game to new heights with GSM Growth Agency. Follow the link in the show notes to learn more about all of our sponsors. And now back to our show. Okay. So, I can talk about this stuff all day because I do like practicing law and helping clients, but the exciting part is the hunt, right? I mean, that like doing the marketing and, maybe sales people don't love as much, but I'm all for sales. And
sales is fun. I love
yeah,
sales.
Exactly. Like finding people and helping them and, being the guy that they want to choose because they find you from your efforts. Nothing's worse than doing all kinds of marketing, getting no results, and nothing's better than, finding things that work. And I think that's what people struggle with. Like people say to me, somebody ever say to you, oh yeah, no, I don't really post much on, I posted once on LinkedIn, nothing happened. I'm like, once? Yeah. How about 50 and nothing happened? Yeah. And then you'd still should stick with it. The podcast didn't do anything till I had like 80 episodes, 100 episodes. Now guests find me like you found me. So
yeah, 300 plus. There you go.
Yeah, you mentioned it before, right? About consistency and about putting out regular, stuff into the world, because that's what creates authority and it's what makes you unique and what puts you everywhere, I guess, right?
It's part of it. So, so it's all part of the touch points. So I jump on these podcasts and I'm helping you look like a rock star, Mitch. Yeah. You're helping me look like a rock star, but it's just a piece of the puzzle that helps, right? Yeah. So in Ideas That Influence, we talk about specifically for the marketing. So there's 7 main key elements for your marketing message for that message to break through the noise.
Yeah. The noise. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when you and I were jumping on podcasts, we're building a presence and everything, it's part of the stories that we're sharing. That's the element out of the 7 elements.
Right.
So we're sharing mainly stories. Now, if we're posting and we're not sharing stories, then I've got news for you. In the world of AI, everything that you're not sharing,
right?
Everything that you're sharing that's not a story is pretty much commoditized.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but when you and I, when we're swapping stories back and forth, Mitch, it moves people and it's not copyable by the AI. So so everything we teach with Ideas That Influence when it comes to marketing, once again, we're trying to differentiate, right? We're trying to break through the noise, and now we have to deal with AI.
Yeah, right.
And so that's part of the consideration that we have to go through.
Yeah, it's almost like you're building like a marketing ecosystem, and that's just one piece. You got to build the whole system. And I found that it's really good to also automate things, like as you build parts that you can work on other parts while other parts are working. So, I connect with you. We set up an appointment that my system takes your email automatically, puts it on my email list. My email list starts sending you a drip campaign. By the way, this took a while to develop, obviously, right? You got to build these things. The drip campaign comes to you, and then you start hearing about the podcast, and then you'll get an email about the blogs on Tuesday, and then you'll see posts. And, like you said, it's, and I probably don't even do enough. Like you're saying, I got to do more. I'm going to get off this podcast and freak out. We got to do more things.
Well, that's the smart way for you and I to use the tools, AI, automations, everything. We need to use the technologies as leverage.
Yeah.
But within that leverage, we need to recognize, when it comes to specifically if we're talking about marketing, what part of marketing is copyable and what part is not.
When you say copyable, you mean people could steal it from you. Or you just have an AI replicate something extremely similar. I could ask AI within a minute to come up with the top 10 reasons, the top most effective ways to market your law firm. Okay. Yeah. Boom, it spits it out. Yep.
Now, if I right now, if I'm like, here are 10 ways to market your law firm, and I start listing them off,
be close,
then I'm going to sound like a robot.
Right.
But if with each one of those things that I list off, if each one is a story, if I present it as a story,
right,
then I start to move people. And that's the difference.
Yeah.
Because we have results. Mitch has results. Daniel has results. And people want to see how you and I have done things so that they can form the belief internally that they also can do things. And that's why it's so powerful, at least for one of the 7 elements that we talk about in Ideas That Influence, that we're sharing stories. I jump on these podcasts specifically with the hope that I'm pulling stories out of Mitch's head.
Yeah, of course.
That I can, oh, wow, Mitch shared this story. And then I can share the story of when I was talking to Mitch and he's a lawyer. And then he shared this story and it was amazing. And then I'm moving people. And then I'm sharing stories as well. So hopefully the audience is getting value out of those stories as well.
Right. Well, because we think in stories, don't we? I mean, you don't think about something, you kind of talk to yourself. I've always noticed that, right? If you're ever thinking about something that you just experienced or that you saw, you kind of talk to yourself about it. People think you're crazy if you did it out loud, but that's kind of how our brains work. So stories are memorable, stories stick, general stuff, just marketing doesn't. And that's why, that's why funny things stick. And that's why funny stories stick and weird shit like that. Yeah. So tell me the whole concept behind it. It's not really a book. It's really a process. I mean, it's an immersive experience that you're giving to people. First of all, how can people get a hold of the box? How do they order one of those?
It's actually free. It's free. So
pay the shipping, right?
You just pay the shipping and handling. You go to bigideasbox.com.
Okay.
And then you get the book and it comes with a box experience. So the book is inside of a box. Mitch was showing off the box. It's got the light bulb and it's got 5 here. There you go. It's got 5 experience envelopes that you open at key points during the book.
Yeah, the first one is start here, and then the other ones are these big ones, right? Like these?
Yeah.
Should I open one? It'll be ahead. I'm jumping ahead, though. That's the problem.
You can. The book, when you read certain chapters, at the end of certain chapters, or sometimes in the middle, it says, okay, now it's time to open envelope number 3.
Right. It also has a journey map, but that's interactive, right? It tells you, a little ball just fell out of the box. Look at that.
Ooh, there you go. What's that about?
I don't know. Wait, there's a lot of balls in here. Hold on a second. Let's see. Wow. I love these balls. These are like super balls, right?
There should be 12 bouncy balls in there.
3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep.
There you go. Now
people should definitely get this. It's really cool.
There's a story behind those 12 balls.
Okay.
Oh, what? A story? Dang, Daniel, stop beating the AI so easily with your stories. So the story behind the 12 balls is I wanted to provide them to people so that they could perform a social experiment. Okay. One of the most important elements that we teach right in the beginning for marketing messages is that in 2024, every single day, according to a Forbes article, we're exposed to about 4,000 to 10,000 different ads and marketing pieces every single day. So it's just insane, especially if you live in
your face.
Yeah, especially if you live in New York or New Jersey, like Mitch.
Yeah, I know it's crazy.
It's probably like 30,000 things you're exposed to.
That's why I put the phone down when I get home. My wife will sit there, my kids, boom, 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 boom. They probably pick up 2,000 or 3,000 just by scrolling through TikTok.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And so the 12 balls, we have people do an experiment. If I throw you one ball, Mitch, you can catch one ball. The second I throw simultaneously,
right?
From 10 feet away, right. three at the same time, 5 at the same time, 12 at the same time, you usually drop all of them. Because your focus is split.
Yeah.
And so the idea and the social experiment that we have people do is to teach people that your marketing message needs to be single focused.
Right.
You have to have a single focused marketing message.
Right.
You have to throw one ball in 2024 and you want that one ball to make an impression.
Right.
So the problem is people try with their marketing. They want to talk about everything.
Well, you might do this and maybe this guy needs this. And what happens if I don't cover this service? And then I can't do this. And I don't know what he's doing. Right. And then they actually reduce the leads they get and the business they get by not niching down. Really, it's niching down. It's a niching down exercise, right?
Yeah.
By really being specific. Well, you can have multiple ads, but just each ad should focus on one thing, right?
Yeah, we say each campaign,
Campaign, okay.
series of ads
Yeah.
needs to have one big single focus.
Right.
So for your business and estate law firm, Mitch, if you have an ad that it's like, hey, do you need an LLC? Hey, do you need to write up, a will? Hey, do you? And
They
then
won't
you
remember
start
anything.
listing, and then you've listed 15 things, and then
They don't
they
remember
tuned
it.
out at number 2.
Right.
So
It's true. And then you don't remember anything.
yeah, then it's just part of the noise. We don't want to get caught up in the noise. We don't want to get caught up in the sea of sameness either.
Right.
So when you throw that one ball, another one of the elements that we teach is that it needs to have an X factor. This goes back to the X factor. It needs to be differentiated in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
So if you have an ad that says, hey, do you need to write up a will? Okay, at least it's single focused, but in what way are you going to differentiate that marketing message?
Is that a rhetorical question or are you asking me? I don't know.
I wasn't trying to put you on the spot.
No.
But introspectively,
Yeah.
so for everybody that's listening, if I am the guy selling, I'm gonna help you put together your will, how am I gonna differentiate that? Well, when you go to talk about that, you could start talking about the experience that people receive when the will is written up with you. And then that would be at least one of the ways. And then you could talk about, how hard other lawyers make it to work with you to write up a will. Well, maybe you're the lawyer that comes to them.
Yeah. No, I do. I don't. They only have to see me once. I could deal with them on Zoom. I could deal with them I give them the information because they have kids.
There you go.
They can't do anything with it. I mean, unfortunately, with the law, they have to sign in person with wills in New Jersey. So I can't circumvent that process, but that may change.
But so you do come to them and they only have to see you once.
I'll come to them for a fee. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But if you're the lawyer, if that is your marketing message.
Yeah.
So what we miss is sometimes we forget to convey that in our marketing message. Because it's one thing to have an ad that says, hey, I do wills.
Right.
Do you need a will?
Every attorney in town does.
Click here if you need a will. Yeah. But it's another thing to say, hey, if you need a will, then I'm your best choice because I am Mitch Beinhacker and I come to you. And guess what? You only have to see me once. We take it all and it's fast and
done.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. You know who's terrible about this? I shouldn't pick on friends, but mortgage reps, like guys who sell mortgages, you'll meet them and they'll be, well, what do you do? Oh, we can write mortgages for anything. And I'm like, well, then I will never remember you again in my life. I know 200 mortgage guys. If you don't tell me that you do something that's specific that I'm going to think about, reverse mortgages, equity lines, what hard money lending, whatever it is, I'm not going to remember you. I just not, because there's no different than you and Dan. Dan sells mortgages too. I've known Dan for 20 years. Why am I going to call you?
Yeah, in 2024, you got to niche down, and that can be part of your single focus message. So I do wills for the sandwich generation. I heard you talking about that on a previous episode.
Yeah,
you're part of that sandwich generation.
Right. I got parents I got to take care of. I got kids I got to take care of. Who's going to take care of us? We're going to be gone, and there's going to be nobody.
There you go.
Yeah, well, it's going to continue that way, though. Our kids are going to be sandwich generation too. It's like this is not a one-time occurrence.
Yeah, hopefully we I forget what the term is, but there's at some point with technology and healthcare where we all might be able to live forever, and then maybe we're all just sandwich generation forever.
Yeah, there was a scientist, forget who it is, somebody famous who you and I know about. Well, I don't know, whatever. And the goal was 150. Like,
there you go.
Live till 150 and you would be satisfied with life. That's enough. Emotionally, you'll be satisfied. You're ready to die. Time to leave. I think if everybody lived to 150, we'd have a little bit of a population problem, though, because you can't physically work, right? I mean, your 90s, you basically can't work anymore. You're older. It becomes problematic. But okay, so let me put the balls back in here. Okay, and then we go to part 2. Can I open this one?
Oh yeah, you can open. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I need hold on a second. Need my trusty letter opener here. You see?
Nice.
Yeah.
That is a nice one.
Yeah. My dad, I think he got it when he was a salesman, and it had a like a acrylic block it would go into, like it was Excalibur's sword.
That's
He won it in a
differentiated.
sales contest. Exactly. He won a sales contest. I used to see when he was alive, I used to see all kinds of cool stuff that he would get in sales. Like in the insurance business is a very good example because insurance is hard, life insurance, especially, really hard to sell. Nobody wants to buy it, right?
Right.
So you have to be good at selling. It's an emotional sale. You're not smelling the leather. You're not driving it around. So those were all the best salespeople. All right. So this one is, there's a dice, right? So there's a little dice.
Yeah.
And the 3 P's of storytelling and ideas filter. So what is all this stuff? This is
Well,
good.
if you roll the dice, then
Yeah.
you can only roll a 5, 6, or a 7. That's the trick to those dice. We engineered it in a way so that you can only roll a 5, 6, or 7. So I dare you to
There's
go
only a 1, 2, and a 3 on here.
there. There you go. You gave up the trick. You gave up the trick. So, and then the other one is all 4s. So if you roll it, you can only roll a 5, 6, or 7. The reason why we put that together was to encourage people that with their winning marketing message, you want at least 5, 6, or 7 of the elements that we talk about in the book for winning marketing messages that break through the noise. And then with your ideas filter,
these are the whole pad of them, right?
Yeah, that's where you write down your ideas, and then you get to check off, okay, does my idea for my marketing message that's going to break through the noise, how many of these elements does it contain?
Right, like this.
Okay.
Yeah, so it says, focus on a single concept. You said that was really important.
Yeah.
Put your audience at the center.
Yeah.
X factor, which is one of the, 7 pillars you said?
Yeah, all of these are those are the 7 elements on the pad right there.
Single
focused.
Evoke emotion, share a story. You said that was really important. Include sticky and shareable qualities. We know that's important. Aha moment. Oh, you use that term too. Aha moment.
Yeah, or mini paradigm shift. But some people, that's confusing to some people. So
what, an aha moment, a paradigm shift?
Yeah.
I like that term. You know, when you're learning something different and you're looking at it different. Some people are not that open to, wait a second, I'm missing something. I'm missing a dice. That's the problem. There. So now I got these are all 4s. And
there you go.
There
you were missing. Yeah, because I was saying it and you were like, wow, what are you talking about?
Right,
what are you talking about?
No, I got it. Okay.
So there you go. If you roll those together, then you can only roll a 5, 6, or 7. So our thing is, we want when you go to test your marketing message, if you don't have at least 5 of these elements, then we say you haven't you're not going to really break through the noise. Now, if you have all 7, we've actually never seen a winning marketing message that didn't have all 7. So with your example of your marketing piece for the wills, focused. Okay. Yeah. We're talking about wills. Okay, great. Putting the audience center stage. All right, let's make it all about them. Has an X factor. What's the X factor? Is it the experiential aspect? Is it that you come to them? Okay, we have an X factor. Evokes emotion. Okay, how can we incorporate emotion and strong emotion into our marketing message? What stories can we share? How can we make our message about wills? How can we make it sticky and shareable? And how can we provide those aha moments? What are the aha moments that while we're talking about our services show our dream customers that we are different?
And you said that even if you have 6 and not 7, I mean, a 6 could be winning, but any of them are always 7s.
We've never seen a marketing message not break through the noise if it contains all 7 of the elements done right. And in the book, we talk about examples of all of it, and we help you come up with ideas for your winning marketing message. At the end of it, you have a bunch of ideas.
Right.
And so if you started, Mitch, to read the book and you're like, I have to have a winning marketing campaign that I can use for years for selling wills. Okay, great. You would go into it with that focus, and then you would keep on coming up with all these ideas. And at the end, you would filter through your ideas and you would find your winners. Got it.
All right. Well, I know we're running out of time, but let's open part 3. Let's see what's in here. You can explain this one. And there's one with a big question mark on it too. But it said, don't open until Open the secret envelope only when prompted.
Yeah, we can't spoil that one on the podcast.
Okay, we won't do that.
But
Well,
envelope 3, yeah,
yeah. So there's a little sticky pad, and then what is this? Oh, that's you and your partner, right? Is that you guys?
Oh yeah. Business partner.
Business partner. Got
To
it.
be more specific.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just
And then what do we got?
clarifying.
Map here. We got something going on. Here, let's move this over. Okay. This is the Triple M pyramid.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, it's like a game. So you know what? You know why this is such a good piece? Because it's immersive. Like it immerses the person into your process. Like, look, you find guys that have processes all the time. The book has processes, and these are the 7 pillars, and you follow the 5 rules and the 3 C's and the whatever. But you don't do that. You're taking them by the throat and you're grabbing them and pulling them through this process. So they walk away going, "Oh, I got homework," and they remember this stuff, and they physically take it out of the envelope. I mean, some of this stuff other people can't. Some of it I could do, but yeah. I mean, that was the idea, right? Make it an immersive experience.
The idea was to bring people an experience. In 2024, one of your biggest differentiators is what kind of experiential things can you do for your customers?
Right.
And that's why Disney consistently wins.
Yeah, well,
Disney's mindset is we are trying to give people the most amazing experience at our theme parks possible.
Right.
And they actually view everybody as competition. Meaning, if Mitch is deciding to bring his family to Disney or to buy a brand new boat,
we want him to go to Disney.
Yeah, Disney says, how are we going to make what we have to offer so good that Mitch does not think about buying the boat instead of coming to Disney?
Yeah. No, they're masters at it. Yeah. Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah. No, it's all great stuff. Well, I think people can take a lot of, I mean, you get so many great ideas and all this kind of stuff. And I think from this episode, I don't do a lot of stuff on marketing. I'm usually telling somebody's entrepreneurial story and sharing their struggles and whatever. But I think, that's one of the elements that's missing, right? Sales, marketing, business development. And I can't thank you enough. You've given a lot of tools away just talking about this stuff. We'll put the link in the show notes. People should go. I'll tell them right now, go pay the shipping and get the box and go through it. And it's a very, at the least, it's a good cerebral exercise, but you will come out with improving whatever it is you're doing or not doing. You're probably not doing it. It's probably not, you're not doing it wrong. You're probably not doing it at all, in my experience, right? That's how you stand out, because it's not like, look, could I go do a box like this and put all these ideas in there? Yeah, sure. Would they be the same? No, but it would still be an experience, but I don't. So, you're differentiated just by doing it.
My goal with the box.
Yeah.
So obviously increased consumption rate for the book, because people buy books today and they buy them for themselves and then they don't read them. So we wanted people to read the book because it's amazing.
Right. Is it on Audible?
No, we specifically, but it's not launched on, you can do on the website, you can add to the cart the audio book, but it's not on Audible. We decided to do everything self-published, not put it on Amazon.
Okay.
People thought I was crazy. And I said, no, the purpose of this is to be different, but through the experience, through the box. So we are
want to sell the book separately. You want to be in the box.
Yeah, we don't want to sell the book separately. It's supposed to come with the box, and people, they're having an experience. They're reading the book, and they're walking away with wildly successful marketing ideas. So it's working. And then for the people who buy it and haven't read it yet, I've had people tell me that, okay, the mug was sitting there and the box was sitting there, and it was kind of taunting them, like, hey,
I told you that too, remember?
Read me.
Remember, I didn't realize that it was from you. Like we hadn't talked yet, and we hadn't made a connection. And I got this box. I'm like, who ordered this for me? Like, where did this come from? It was just sitting there. And then you and I had our little chat. I'm like, oh, that's where the box came from.
There you go.
Yeah. But you're right. If somebody takes a book, and I'm sure they do this with my book, right? Mine's just like a business resource book. They put it on the shelf over there. I got a lot of books on the shelf over there. I haven't read most of them, and they just sit there. You have a box. It's on the floor. It's in the way. I trip over it every day. And right?
Yep.
You made an experience out of it. That's what people should do.
By purpose.
Yeah.
By
I always tell
design.
people, if you got to make a presentation for business purposes, you're going to a client, whatever, turn it into an event. Call ahead. Tell them you need a whiteboard. Have something shipped there. Say, here, listen, this box is being shipped there. I need it for the presentation. Hold on to it. And turn up the whole office. They're like, oh, God, Daniel's coming Thursday. Wait, we got to have all this stuff. They'll do it, and they'll be keyed up for you. You know?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Dan, I can't thank you enough. I definitely want to stay in touch. I'm going to, now that I'm feeling better, I'm going to finish going through this stuff, see what it does for my law firm. Let's keep talking about it. And let's keep helping people. That's what we want to do, right?
Let's go. Thank you so much, Mitch. Buying Hacker.
Buying Hacker, you got it.
Such a cool name. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the accidental entrepreneurs that are listening. You guys are amazing. I 100% believe that we as business owners and entrepreneurs are the ones that change the world. So there we go.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dan. All right, let's close the show. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Accidental Entrepreneur. Opening and closing music written and performed by Howie Moskovich and made to order music. For information about Howie and his music services, please follow the link in our show notes. If you like the podcast, please tell others about us. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, on Amazon Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and most of the other podcast directories. If you like what you hear, please leave us a 5-star review and feel free to share our episodes on social media. If you have any questions or comments, ideas for the show, or you'd even like to appear as a guest, reach out to us by email at info@beinhackerlaw.com.
The Accidental Entrepreneur is hosted by Mitch Beinhacker and produced by Beinhacker Law. If you'd like to learn more about our business and legal services, you can find us on social media or visit our website at beinhackerlaw.com. Thanks for listening, and be sure to subscribe to our feed to be notified of all future episodes.